Hey YouTube, I'm back with another video once again. Um, this video is something I feel needs to be talked about. I feel is very passionate to me because um, it really brought something out in me. You know what I mean? I really empathize with the person in this video. But first, let me not be rude. This is my friend Shayna.
Hi.
As Shayna, she gonna be, giving her input or whatever, how she feel about this situation. But pretty much what I'm gonna be talking about is this is pretty much it's like a response video, but then like the main emphasis that I want to reflect on, that we want to reflect on, is parental discretion. And I'll explain later. But I was inspired to do this video because I watched the Curie video of the Asian kid getting jumped, and I was just like, what the hell? Like, I jumped before, but it was just like the way that it was handled. You get what I'm saying? It was just like they beat him mercifully, and I was just like it really disgusted me. And it's like, and it almost brought me to tears, like, cause I think his nose was broke. Like, seriously, like it was a tracing of his nose, like right there, and like all you saw was blood. So I think that it was like his nose, like it was like trying to come up. Like, I don't know. It was just so like surreal, and it was just like so sad, like how they just beat him like that, and they were, throwing racial slurs. Like, didn't you say they
They
was
called
calling,
him a nigger.
like they called him a nigger, and I
The
was just
boys
like,
that were beating him up were not black. I repeat, they were not of African American descent.
yeah, they weren't, from what it looked like to me. I don't think they were, and it's like some of them were concealed with masks and stuff like that, so you couldn't see them like the little punks that they are. And pretty much, I just wanted to like emphasize the fact that parental discretion is just like so needed. Like, because if you think about it, how you're raised determines like your character and how you'll be. So in situations like this, you'll know better. Because my mom always taught me, like, yeah, if somebody hit you, you hit them back. For sure. Like, that's self defense. And self defense and retaliation are two different things, two totally different things. If I hit Shayna and she hit me back, and then we just keep going back and forth or whatever, then that's a fight. It's gonna stop at some point. But retaliation is a prolonged thing, and it keeps going on and on. You know what I mean? And and the reason why I bring that up is because she said that her cousin had told her that the reason why they made the video and why they jumped him was because it was from a previous jumping that the Asian kid did with his friends or whatever. Now that's of no concern to me. I don't really care about that. And I'm gonna, and if that is the case, I'll sympathize with those boys too. But at the end of the day, two wrongs don't make a right. They're both wrong in this situation, and it's sad because it's like, where are your parents in this situation? Why are they not knowing where you're at? I'm pretty sure this was after school hours. Why did they not know where you were at and what you were doing? You know what I mean? Why? But I guess it's just the generation that we're in right now. It's the baby boomers, the babies having babies. So if they're just still in this, teenage mentality, and they're not gonna know how to handle situations like that. They're pretty much neither here nor there. Their mind is not there. It's not in it. And so it's just sad. And it's like, I don't, I somewhat believe in the whole product of your environment, because I feel like that's how you get sucked in with situations like that. And I see it all the time. I've had male friends and even female friends who got sucked into that because of situations like that. But at the end of the day, it's like it's half and half. It's like sometimes you don't have the resources to get to school. Sometimes you don't have the money or the clothes or a place to rest your head at night or something like that. When you don't have available resources to you, you
You're
don't,
trapped.
exactly, you're disabled from certain situations. You are unable to get your education and flourish and be a good adolescent and grow up and to be a productive adult like everyone else, like you should be. And if parents will raise their kids the right way, we wouldn't have to worry about them getting into trouble like this. You know what I mean? Because had the police arrived, they'd all be going to jail. But that's assault and battery. You get what I'm saying? Like, and and what would they do then? What would you do then? It's like you really need to be mindful of certain situations like that, and it's just it's sad. It's sad to know that we live in a society like that. And I'm just gonna pass to my friend right now, let her put her input in and how she feels about it.
I think it's really imperative that parents know where their child is at all times. Like, I understand, you drop your kid off at school, you leave all the responsibility up to the teachers and the principals and things like that. But sometimes, you know, kids who kids who live in certain environments, they feel threatened by their environment. So because of that, you have people who don't care about what your child is doing and how they are trying to better their life. So I feel like you should know where your child is at all times and make it, most importantly, check up on them and see how they're doing. Like, why does this young man's mother or father, like, I don't know if I saw the video or not, well, hopefully they did, and if they didn't, like, why didn't he say anything about it? Why didn't he tell his parents that he was having
Right,
problems or anything
right,
like that? Like, I feel that, you know, it's like being like when you grow up in an environment, especially not having a father figure or a motherly figure to look up to teach you
mhm,
how to be as a young adult or anything like that, there is room for error,
mhm,
and when you have mentors and things like that, you have a trial and you have an error process. So
right.
you have room to make those mistakes, but you have room and time enough to grow and learn from the mistakes that you've made, because the actions that you do today, they can affect your future.
That's right. That's right. That's so true. And the other half of what I wanted to say about the being a product of your environment is like, what I mean? I'm a clear case that I am not a product of my environment because because I refuse to be. You understand what I'm saying? Like I grew up in, somewhat rough neighborhoods and stuff and, been to rough schools where people just I'm talking about straight from the hood and nothing more than that. You know what I mean? Where it's been like shootings and jumpings all the time. All the time. Senseless stuff that just happens over and over. And they didn't get in trouble by the police, stuff like that. I didn't want that kind of trouble. And you know what I mean? And of course I defended myself when the time called for it. But as far as jumpers and stuff like that, that never occurred to me. That never, I'm blessed to say that. I'm not bragging or anything like that. But you can get away from situations like that. I went to CVS. There it is right there.
And you can be the total opposite. Like, I didn't grow up in a rough environment, but just because you didn't grow up in a rough environment does not mean you can still be subjected to things that happen in
Exactly.
rough environments.
Exactly.
Like, I was blessed enough to just have parents to send me to a good high school, and I like know things. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you go to a good high school doesn't mean you still can't be subjected to things out there in the real world, because you can.
That's
I've
right.
known friends of mine who even though they went to the good high schools, they still are a product of their environment, because they graduated, but they haven't gone beyond their limits of what they can do.
Exactly. And when you strive for it and you want to go above and beyond for it, you can do it. You can do anything. But people like to, I feel like sometimes also people like to be kind of like babied by that. They like to, like, they want to be pacified by it, to know that, okay, this is it for me. You know what I mean? And it's sad to see that because it's like there is no limit to where you can go and what you can do. You know what I'm saying? I see it all the time. A lot of my friends are like doing the damn thing, whether they, went away to school or whether they did not. You know what I mean? They're still doing things with their lives that are productive, and they're not out here in the streets, and they're not out here, being, delinquent, and so it's just really all about like the parents like taking that initiative. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the kids aren't always going to speak up. Excuse me. They're not always going to speak up and let you know what's going on. So you have to care enough as a parent, as a mother, or father, uncle, grandmother, sister, whatever. You have to care enough to let that child know that you care. Whether you have to be all up their butt and be overprotective and let them know, like, hey, I want to know what's going on with you at all times. That's how my mom was with me, and I am so appreciative of that. I am so appreciative of that because I don't know how I would have been if she wasn't, always, up in my face, trying to see what I'm doing, where I'm at, how I'm gonna get there, how I'm gonna get back. Like, I really kind of needed that. You know what I mean? Because there were situations where I did, hang around the wrong people, whatever, and I had to let that go because she made me realize, like, hey, you doing the wrong thing. This is not you. You know what I mean? And I know that all parents aren't going to be like that, but I'm letting you know right now that if you try right now, little by little, it's gonna make a difference. It's gonna make a change where they won't get themselves in situations like this because that's gang activity. If that was a retaliation, you know what I mean? That is clearly gang activity if that was a retaliation from something. And that's sad. Once again, like, so we just need to continue to motivate our kids and take the initiative. And I'm going to continue to try to do the same with my little cousins. And I have a little sister, I have a stepbrother. I'm gonna always continue to try to check up on them and do everything I can, because I love them and I would hate to see something like that happen to them. I would be crushed. I wouldn't know what to do. I would tell my daddy like, hey, tell my my transfer my little sister or something. Like I'm really overprotective like that. And it's like, you know, I know that you can't prevent everything, but you can prevent every other thing or every little thing sometimes if you really put your effort into it. And sometimes parents are lazy, but then again, that's my generation of parents nowadays. The you know
Sandwich generation.
exactly, the kids, the babies having babies pretty much. And it's sad. And like I said, if we continue to try to motivate, make sure you keep your kids involved, any type of clubs, dances, and sporting events, everything. Make sure you go to it. Make sure you encourage them and don't try to discourage them and make them believe that they are, they can't go beyond, 71st, 79th and all that. You know what I mean? Let them know that, there's universities out here. There's what I mean? There's different schools that you can go to. You can take up a trade. You can do so much with your life. It's just like if I'm in this bubble and you limit me to this bubble, then that's where I'm gonna want to stay because I'm in my comfort zone. I don't want to get out of it. And our life is all about getting out of your comfort zone and going into the real world. You can't continue to be cradled and babied by, society because that's how you will get trapped into, psychologically believing that you are, I know that you are a product of your environment. And that's just what it is. So continue to motivate, encourage, and just do all that you can to motivate them and fill them with as much inspiration as you can because that will really help. Like we are the future, and that will really help, like whether you know it or not. So thank you for watching. I truly, truly appreciate it. Um, just continue to share this, email this to your friends, post it on people's walls, comment it, like it, share it, subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to me, please. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the support that I'm getting thus far and everything else. Follow me on Twitter at _revolution, capital SHAUN, lowercase ARY, Loot Revolutionary. I'll put it at the end of the video anyway. But that's all I have for you. Shani, you want to plug?
You can follow me on Twitter at capital SHA, lowercase TTER _ proof. That's shatterproof.
All right, that's all I have for you. So be checking out for my next video. I think I'm not sure yet. I have some other inspirations coming up, but I think my next video is gonna be for Black History Month. I got to do a VA fuss. So thank you so much. Comment, share, subscribe. Peace out. God bless.